Breath by breath and blink by blink, we saw her cerulean snow melt to unveil a new scenery, the volcanic marginalia of Mount Fuji.
And then for our third place winner, Instructions for Remaining Human by Karina Claris. Love that.
Hello everyone. This is Instructions for Remaining Human. You want to believe the world is still capable of instruction, that suffering teaches, that history bends, that progress is more than a bedtime story we whisper to quiet our fear. But look, everywhere the same pattern, like a river returning to its bed. A people crying out, a government turning away, a child lifted from rubble, another buried beneath it. The map glows with the heat of places where life has become a negotiation with death, as though the earth itself were fevered by what it has witnessed. And still, the world insists on its routines. Markets open, borders harden, leaders speak of order as if order were not built on someone's broken body. You ask what it means to be human in such a time, but the answer is older than any nation. To witness suffering is to be implicated by it. To turn away is a kind of wound. It is the same answer the trees give when the wind tears up. To stand, to witness, to remain part of the world even as it trembles. Injustice is not an abstract. It has a face, a pulse, a mother waiting for news that will ruin her. It has a silence that spreads through smoke, through rooms where people pretend not to hear. And yet, something in us just refuses to die. Not the blaze of certainty, but a stubborn ember, insisting the world can be otherwise, though only if we learn to sustain the work. Call it hope if you must, though the word feels small against the scale of grief. It is the flow, steady motion that continues after outrage cools, after the crowd disperses, after cameras leave. I call it perpetual motion, the forward-leaning ache toward a future we may never see, the refusal to let cruelty be the final word. We rise because something in us still believes the world can turn. A quiet motion forward, small but insistent, the human refusal to let suffering be the end of the story. Thank you.
And now we'll hear from Michael Orlando, our second place winner.
Everybody, this is the Working South. Sunken into the earth, lines of felled pines ride, their thin, black branches sharp with the stark geometry of rigor mortis. Only 4 survivors stand, their dark bodies tall and stiff-backed. At each tree's crown, clusters of leaves flare out into a stretch of orange. The late day sky pulped with heat like a slate of scab resin spread low over the land. Below, patches of bruised grass push up through the soft mud, just barely, their little blades dull beneath rolling logs and the boot tread of 2 black men at work among the trees. The younger man lifts an axe high overhead, its haft slung back, primed to drive the square steel head down again. At his hand, the forest is splintered, broken into split logs. Beside him, an older man cradles each one, sliding the wood onto a stack grown shoulder high. Both take on the labor in loose patchwork clothes, all vibrant swatches of burnt red, rust tones, pale blue cotton stained with old dirt and fresh sweat. And still a pine scent clings to the skin, still the sharp bite of steel, the buzz of shock shot through an axe, taking root in bundles of muscle-worn rock. A woodcutter's work hardly ends in the woods. There are still trees.
And then, if you would,
first place winner of the 2026 Words on Canvas competition, Mariah Ferguson.
Scientists rise the bright sun, when softly as breath that chilled no pain, discern to the secret hope into a chosen few. Still, she was determined not just to seek. There may be granted some small understanding of what happens when the sun moves so slender. With a keen eye, when we get glimpse of how a gentle dew hangs on blades of grass and clay break, how little droplets hold the light with grace gentle and tender, also with foreign in the soil below, while smart, her morning hush stretches hair goes awake. And she looked at their head mother's hero. They would see clouds rise with quiet soul liberation, hailed in pastel hues, equal up to resolve themselves in the bosom of the atmosphere. So if you, one day, find yourself awake at dawn, walk to the reassured the place where land meets sea, if you truly are awake, within a sacred boundary drawn by ancient hands, you knew how longing carves a line. You never the salt of the sea remembers its weight, but soon learn how to confession themselves in the stillness of breath. And in the moment of that confession, it comes to you, patient as a turning tide, as soft as the first light, but calm, older than naming of the life. It's carrying, scarcely bearing, the quiet ache of all forgotten, and the ache of light to come. But to the simple unaware, wanting to be reassured I know appeared to be nothing more than a bright light carrying windless pant murder and a dead blue.
And all of those entries that you just heard can actually be found online. The Words on Canvas not only lives as a small publication print, but it lives online for the past 11 years, so you can go and look at this year's recipients or any other year. So thank you once again. Please stay tuned for next year's competition, probably opening in late fall semester. Thank you.
Alrighty, Earl, thank you so much for emceeing the Words on Canvas, and thank you to our writers, amazing winning contributions. I really enjoyed that. E. Stanley Richardson, this is your show now.
Oh, and I just have to say.
No, it's my show.
I do owe one thank you to my wonderful editorial intern, Katie Hamilton. Katie, go ahead and give her a wave. All entries were selected through a blind judging process, so I really rely on Katie to keep that organized, to keep up with all of the submissions, to hide it from the judges, and to help me write the wonderful forewords. So thank you, Katie.
Okay. Hey everybody. Good to see you everyone here. Young lady, I was talking to you before. I saw you come in. I thought you were just someone coming to sign up to read. And I asked you, were you a poet? You said yes. But you didn't tell me you were with Words on Canvas. And did you know you had won or not? They didn't know? They knew? Well, I was one of the judges. But congratulations. Well, thank you all for asking me to, it was an honor to be one of the judges, and it was very difficult to judge the submissions. They were all very, very great. I love the classic poems. And these were all based on one of the permanent exhibitions here at the HARN. So, and thank you to Eric for partnering with us. This event for the 4th year has opened the Bard and Broadside North Central Florida Poetry Festival. And we celebrate National Poetry Month. Everybody knows April is National Poetry Month, right? Right. Okay, all right, National Poetry Month. So I founded Art Speaks 12 years ago, back in 2012. And one of the things that when I navigated the poetry community throughout Gainesville and North Florida, one of the things that I found, I gravitated toward the folks at Civic Media Center. And that's who really kind of like embraced me, took me in, and showed me the poetry scene. And so I was like, let's get together and all these beautiful voices under one roof, and let's go to the University of Florida and partner with them. And they were like, well, you tried that. And there is this typical town and gown divide that you find in most college university cities. So one of the things that's really cool about this evening is we're bringing the Poe Jam. Anybody know the Poe Jam? So we have some folks from the media center. Where's Jenna?
I'm right here.
Come on up, Jenna. And you can talk about the Poe Jam and what happens at CMC and what's going on, and you can do that. And I'll get out of the way for a second.
Hello, my name is Jenna Nishida. I am one of the hosts of the Poetry Jam at the Civic Media Center. The Poe Jam has been going on for more than 30 years. I have been involved only for the last 8 or 9 of those years, and I had never read poetry before, out loud in front of people, until I tried the jam, and now I'm one of the hosts, so be careful, you might get sucked in. The Poetry Jam is every Thursday night at 8 p.m. at the Civic Media Center. This is on South Main Street near where St. Francis used to be. And everybody is welcome. It is a very progressive space, so keep that in mind if that's not your, not the way you roll. But we really do encourage all poets, young and old. A lot of people who never read poetry before out loud have started at the Poe Jam at the CMC, including, I think, E. Stanley Richardson. So he came and he was a host for a while. So yes, Poetry Jam, CMC. Next announcement, Gainesville has a international writing journal called Bacopa. Bacopa, B-A-C-O-P-A. It's run by the Writers Alliance of Gainesville. And one of the poetry judges is in the room with us right now. Her name is Susan. Susan, stand up. Bacopa is taking entries for various types of poetry and prose until the end of this month. And again, a lot of people who have never been published got published the first time in Bacopa Literary Review. And it just because you're local doesn't mean you're not in the same running with lots of international people. Yeah. Okay, and then if you haven't got one of the lovely flyers for the Broadside Poetry Festival, we have more. I'll put them on the front table. That's all of you.
Great, great. So the Poe Jam has been going on every Thursday for over 30 years. Every Thursday for over 30 years. That's amazing. And so we wanted to get together. ARTSPEAKS was founded to bring people together centered around poetry, and we've been doing that since 2012. And this is one of our events. We founded the only poetry festival in North Central Florida, Gainesville, and Lawrenceville County, which is the BARD and Broadside North Central Florida Poetry Festival. We're kicking it off here at Museum Nights tonight, and it's going to go on throughout the month of April at various events. So go to the website. There's some schedule of events on the tables. If you can always just go to the website, ARTSPEAKSgnv.org, and you can find out all the amazing things we do. There's a donation box in the back. Everything we do is free. We make sure that everything we do, we don't charge anything for any of our workshops. One of the cool things about the Poetry Festival, we always invite a featured poet to come in and do a free community poetry workshop at the library headquarters downtown. So this year, our featured poet is Dr. Sydney Wade, who she's a professor here at the University of Florida. Okay, I know she's in Maine right now, but she'll be coming down sometime this month just to do this free poetry workshop. It's not free to me, but it's free to people. And she charges, so I have to pay her, right? But we make sure that it's free to the public. That's why we need donations, right? So you can always donate here or go to the website, you donate any amount, $5, everything is tax exempt, tax deductible, you can write it off from your taxes, and we really appreciate it. So we're gonna get out of the way and get started with the nice part, poetry. Now get out of the way and I take pictures and everything. So there's a sign-up sheet. If you haven't signed up and want to read, anybody can read. There's a sign-up sheet. It's over at the table. So make sure you sign if you want to read. And we'll get ready. Oh, did I introduce myself? I am E. Stanley Richardson. I am Alachua County's Poet Laureate. And I was appointed in 2020, reappointed in 2022, and then just reappointed again in 2025. So I think my term will be I don't get paid for this stuff, all right? I just do it because I love it. It's my passion. I wish I did get paid for it, but I will take donations for myself and for ArtSpeaks. It all goes back into ArtSpeaks anyway. So I make sure we raise money, raise enough money to make sure we have free poetry programs. We do kids stuff. We do stuff for teens. So we just love making spaces for people to express themselves. That's what I get a kick out of. So, are you first, Wendy, or is that a mistake?
Yeah, but I just lost my poem while we were talking.
Okay, well, Babsy. Babsy. Now she's here, Babsy. Come on up, do your thing. Babsy, everybody.
Okay. Can you hear me okay? So, I have a little story and then a poem that is actually a song, but it was too much for me to sing this last week because I came into town. You may have heard of me if you are friends with Jackie Betts, who passed away this last week. If you've heard about her, a big community member activist. Good friend of mine that came through town to visit her, and she died. It's okay. This was her shirt. But I literally buried her at the Prairie Creek Conservation Cemetery. Fabulous experience when you lose someone. So I was really grateful for that, and I'm really grateful to be here because I read this poem at her gravesite. And people came up to me and said, "You need to come here and read that." So I did. She would be here with me tonight. She told me she would love all of you. So I do. So this is, I can't sing it because it would make me cry too much, but Carsey Blanton is a songwriter and a singer, poet as well. And so this is her poem called The Little Flame. And it goes, a cotton field, a silver mine, Johannesburg to Palestine, broken treaties, dreams deprived, we kept the little flame alive. Bobby sealed Bobby Sands, a picket held in frozen hands, prison cells and freedom rides to keep the little flame alive. 100 years, 100 more, we'll throw our weight against the door, and even if we don't survive, we keep the little flame alive. Warsaw, Tulsa, Wounded Knee, they buried us, but we were seeds. Singing from the grave, we rise to keep the little flame alive. Ford the river, cross the sea, a slave, a rat, a refugee. Strap the child to your side, keep the little flame alive. Faye, Dolores, Bernadine, table grapes and gasoline, homemade knives and homemade rifles, kitchen knives, kept the little flame alive. Remember when they shot Joe Hill? He spoke his last and final will. Good luck to all of you. Don't cry, but keep the little flame alive. But it works. It goes right to get registered to vote, so I'm going to keep it and keep it with me forever. Keep my little flame alive. Thank you so much.
I need to make one more announcement. I failed to do this, but I was reminded. We have a lot of readers, so we're going to limit everybody to one poem, and we don't really need a whole explanation about everything behind the inspiration of writing the poem. We just need to hear the poem, okay? So we can hear all that. So just come up, check your poem, and we thank you. So everybody, one poem. All right, thank you.
Hi, my name is Wendy Thornton. I'm the person who started the Writers Alliance, and I'm the fiction editor for the COPA Submits Events. I'm involved with a group that does 30 poems in 30 days. This is form poetry, and I wrote this today, so I'm sorry for any weirdo stuff. This is called Ode to the Everglades. Mother would cry, "I need a break," and Dad would load us up for our sake. Faster than the snakes that slid along the paths through the marshes and along the limestone shores. The alligators whispered at the edge of the door to our tent while the birds banged on the sky. We didn't care. We were never scared. We knew Dad would keep us out of the bullseye. Over the years, we heard things had changed. Bird hunters once killed for the wealth of feathers. Rum runners hid their wares in the swamps, while sugarcane farmers planted everywhere. We heard stories of the Miccosukee there, and sometimes from the Seminoles themselves, too, who loved to talk to the gang of wild children freed from suburbia, instructing us clearly to not be disturbia, helping us to understand we were intruders in a gentle way. While we camped, we bundled our garbage and removed all trace, as instructed by Dad and the locals in place. Sawgrass marshes, hardwood hammocks, mangroves and pine, cypress knees, all allowing us to climb out onto the water, watch the fishes, see the stars coming out at night and counting our wishes. And now it is an ecosystem, a blessed shore. Water and wildlife still exist, but ecohydrology causes the mists to disappear and the water to slow. Mollusks and kites must find a way to coexist. Creatures and plants must adapt to a changing land. When I was a child, there was no plan. For millennia, the glades remained bold and grew, sheltering those brave enough to experience the view. So now I wonder, could humans be considered the new invasive species? Thank you.
How's everybody doing? Yeah.
If anybody ever gets shot in the ear and then they regrow their ear in like 10 minutes, like they're telling you lies. Trigger warning, war. This isn't graphic, but it's intense. This is dedicated to artists. On and on. Something going on here. Something going on. Something happening here. Something going on. Big pig off balance. Born the squeal and tail. need to stage his heaven and also raise our hell. So many die of hunger. They feed to no avail. Of those who die in struggle, a few live on as well. Something going on. Something going on here. Something happening. Something going on. Big pig, media rig. Big pig, smug swig. Big pig, drug ring. Big pig, foreign brig. Security lax, sugar smacks, trickle down tax, unplug the vax. He might be friendly czar. He could prey upon a star. He could prey upon his scars. Nothing go too far. So far, because a man with no clear plan always get us into war. Into war! Into war! Into war! Into war! A man with no clear plan always get us into war. Into war! Into war! Just a man with no clear plan and a man without a plan always get us into war. Into war! Into war! A man with only scam, yes! A man with scam but no clear plan get us into war. Humanity ignore. Complex of savior. War, 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 war. A man with dirty hand, immune to reprimand. Play to his fans without clear plan and get us into war. Big pig, drop bomb. Big pig, drop bomb. Big pig, drop bomb. Big pig, drop bomb. 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 Poem. Bomb. Story. Bomb. Faith. Bomb. Glory. Big pig, drop bomb. Big pig, drop bomb. Big pig, drop bomb. Big pig, drop bomb. Bomb. School. Bomb. Home. Bomb. Tomb. Inhuman. Drone. Big pig, drop bomb. Big pig, drop bomb. Big pig, drop bomb. What the hell is going on? Something's going on here. Something's going on. Something's happening in here. Something's going on. Something's next to near, close by. Something all around. Something's happening right beside where something's going down and up. Something going on. Something's going on. Something's going on and on and on and on and on. It's a song. It's a song. A song is going on. No, counting just one song is counting songs all wrong. There's songs. There's songs. Songs are going on. Songs are going on and on and on and on and on. The world spins along while songs are going on. And on and on and on and on and on and on and on. The world is going wrong. But songs are going on. And on and on and on and on and on and on and on. Big pig, drop bomb. While songs are going on and 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 on. Now's the time to howl. Now's the time to sing. Now's the time to bring our songs. Songs are going on.
I'm also the cultural affairs manager for the city of Gainesville, and so I've been recruited to kind of help out a little little bit tonight. So, but before I get into that, I want to take the opportunity to say thank you to all of the wonderful poets that are here today, especially Miss Babs. I did not know the person that you mentioned, but I do remember reading the story on social media, and I was really moved. So thank you so much for bringing your heart and talking about Prairie Creek and this beautiful person that really practiced what she preached. So thank you so much for working in government. We have to thank those sponsors. So I do want to thank the HARN Museum of Art for their generous support each year with Art Speaks. Visit Gainesville, Alachua County, the City of Gainesville, the Florida Humanities Council, Alachua County Arts Council, and so many people that help keep the arts alive and invest each day, which is your taxpayer money. So I want to thank you so much for your commitment to the arts, to the agencies, and for all of you being here and the wonderful voices. So with that, I'm going to now invite Gail Bluebird, and then following Gail will be Bo. Thank you so much.
Somebody warned me not to go after David. I didn't know him, so anyway. But I did write a poem for tonight.
I didn't spit on the microphone, it's okay.
All right, so the name of my poem, and I wrote it just specifically for tonight, it's called You Don't Know Me. You don't know me, but how could you? When my poems have yet to go where they're supposed to go. You don't know me, because how could you? Me sitting like a coffee cup, waiting to be filled, waiting to grow up like little Punch with his orange orangutan companion, waiting as if for a first kiss to awaken me, but as it is, kisses aren't for sale anywhere, at least not where I can find them. But I do have a book in progress, a little book of peace poems with every word I believe in can lead to peace. And this little book is called a chapbook, which means I'm hip. Because none of my 80-year-old friends ever heard of a chapbook. And I got annoyed with them because they didn't seem interested, even when I sent them a chapbook on how to do a chapbook. What you don't know about me is that I was made to be a street poet. Back in the 70s in Berkeley, California, I met some of the famous women writers, like Alta, the first feminist woman to do a printing press, the shameless hussy press, and who wrote shocking poems even for this day. And my favorite poet was Julia Vinograd, the revolutionary poet who walked the streets of Berkeley blowing bubbles. She was called the Bubble Lady, calling attention to issues often about unhoused street people, anti-war, poverty, and others. Writer of 59 thin books, not chapbooks, she is known as the Poet Laureate of the Berkeley streets. And to sum up this poem, it was the street poet Bert Glick who said I was wasting my time, like being a nurse or making money, living like a rich person, that I was really meant to be a street poet. I'm not sure he meant I was already a great poet, or whether I was meant to be, or that I belonged in the streets, because that's where great poets are found. I know you don't know me, but I hope I told you enough that I am a poet ready to probably sit rather than walk for obvious reasons, flagging my peace poems in a chapbook called Talking Peace. And if you see me out there, please stop to talk about yourself and create peace with me. And here is the Thank you, David.
We had a little break in the order, so next up is Emily, and followed be Bo.
Yep.
Okay, you're next after you.
Okay.
Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
So this is a little bit of a shorter poem, but I hope you guys like it. So this poem's called Mosaic, and I thought it was good for an art museum. So yeah. I am a mosaic of everyone I have ever known, each glass piece uneven, glued with no sense of precision. My product is easily breakable. I have actually broken it quite a few times. And yet, each time it comes crashing down, I take the pieces and glue them back together, whether they are 2 or 1,000,000. It is not the most wonderful work you will ever see, but it is complex and dynamic. It is honest and vulnerable in its nature, and it is quite beautiful, at least to me. It's hard to look at a work of broken pieces and think it's beautiful. Most people won't really notice it, but there's always those few, those handful, that look at it closely, at its colors and edges and lines, and find it one of their favorite pieces in the world, and those are the people worth showing it to.
Whoops.
I didn't know I was over there so much, so it's good. So my name is Bo, if you don't already know, and I wanna say that I don't write anything, and I love to sing, so I thought I'd come and sing you all a song. And I hooked up the wire here because I usually sing with my instrumental tracks, but I wanted to sing this song that I love, and I don't have a track for it, and it's a beautiful, beautiful song. Interesting that I'm following about the Book of Peace, because this person who wrote this song, this is a tribute song, this person is no longer here. And I saw him perform this song in front of, with thousands and thousands of people, in front of world-renowned ambassador of peace, Prem Rawat. Prem Rawat has been traveling the world for over 50 years, sharing his message of peace. And if anybody wants to hear more, I have some links that you can look him up. He's on YouTube. And I saw footage of him speaking to over 400,000 people, and you could hear a pin drop. So he stones me like little children do, So anyway, I'll leave it at that. But this song is a tribute song. Again, David Marsden wrote this, and I don't think it's on. I looked it up and it wasn't on YouTube, so I put an a cappella version on it, whatever. And so a cappella, it's a challenge, to do it. But anyway, it's called Like the Rain, and it goes something like this. As the winter turned to spring, as the spell was broken, the rain fell tenderly, my heart began to open. I'm there with you, walking in your garden, gratitude stirring deep inside.
pouring down from the sky. I like the rain, your love came calling, falling soft upon my window pane. You came and turned my desert green again, changing everything. Your love is like the rain, a cloudburst on a summer breeze, in answer to the forest, washing over you and me, a symphony played for us. When you spoke, something felt completed, soul to soul, and it took some time, you alone. I brought the gift I needed. Love's a rose that is unfolding deep inside. I like the rain, you cooled my fires raging. My heart's desire had always been the same. You came and turned my desert green again, changing everything. Your love is like the rain. Time was sand sifting through my fingers that the wind blew away. When only thirst was down inside me, I prayed to hold on one more day, and I awoke in this oasis. Words can never say how nothing that love touches stays the same. I like the rain, your love came calling, falling soft upon my window pane. You came and turned my desert green again, changing everything. Your love is like the rain. 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 Again, this gentleman, and I never met him, I saw him perform this song, but he wrote this song and sang this song to Prem Rawa, and I warmly, warmly, warmly invite people to look this man up, because these are crazy times, and we can all walk and chew gum at the same time, and I'll leave it at that. But anyway, I'm shaking. Acapella is a really skill. Thank you very much, everyone. By the way, I have a Facebook page for my singing, and it's called Beau Loves to Sing. B-E-A-U, the French way. Beau Loves to Sing. Anyway, enjoy.
Good evening. I'm a little bit new to this. I've been writing poetry for quite a while, but not reading it in front of an audience. So my poetry is kind of private, but I think everybody can relate to it. I hope so. This poem I wrote at the beach. I'm a beach person. I draw inspiration from nature. And I take pictures and I write photo poetry. Okay? All right, so this one is called I
want to share a secret. I want to share a secret, a story I love to tell. Sorry. Let me start it over again, okay? I get emotional, I'm sorry. Okay, I want to share a secret. I want to share a secret, a story I love to tell. It touches my heart so deeply, my eyes, they begin to well. I learned this secret long ago when I was just a child. It's a gift I often give myself when I'm feeling worried and wild. When I'm overwhelmed with pressures, I take a trip down to the beach. The gentlest cleansing I receive, the most incredible peace I reach. My tormented thoughts drift out to sea as the warm sands cleanse my soul. The wind, it fills me with fresh breath. I feel renewed, not in pieces, now whole. How did I learn this secret? I've known for oh so long. It's one I've treasured, now share with you. I heard it in the Seagrasses song.
I got caught up in the poetry. Susan. And after Susan is Eddie. Yay. Susan Warren Middlebury. After Susan is Eddie.
Right. Hello, everyone.
Remember your name, everyone.
I'm Susan Pickleberry, and I'm just going to read you a little poem. I've been writing poems for a long time. This poem is has been my most recent publication. It's in an online publication called In Conversation, and so here it is. My poem is called It's Coming. Driving across town with the captain through the burgeoning streets, no metaphor. This is your captain speaking, he reassures, as he directs impinging vehicles and street crossers. Look at the crazies racing ahead, he says, as he wraps his steering wheel and laughs. We'll all arrive at the stoplight at the same time, damn fools, as we coast to a stop at the light. In the parking lot with her cart, the brown-skinned grandmother greets us with a smile as we pass, opening her trunk to reveal old boots, sweaters, junk, trash, and in-cover groceries. It's coming, she says. The cars have told me. It's coming, pointing at the sky, dark clouds everywhere. Hurricanes, tornadoes, floods, melting ice, landscapes, global landslides, global warming. Scary, I say. Don't be scared, be prepared. Her finger points into the trunk. More shoppers throng to listen, and he and I trot into traders. Driving home, we follow an Amazon truck, providing us with instructions. That thing you wanted? It's right here, arrow pointing down at the road. The truck disappears as rain pours down. Water rises outside the car doors. The car begins to float. I'm hoping I brought my waders as I watch, eyes wide open. Last week, a golden board weaver unreasonably spun its web from my from my roof to the azaleas. This morning, I saw it hanging lifeless there. I cried.
Hello, everyone. I would give you a trigger warning, but David did that. All right, so this is a poem I'm going to read to you. It's called Karma and Claymation. With a dirty forearm, you rub the fog of breath off the cracked maternity board glass. Your ears ringing from the shells still falling around the hospital. The bomb's wails filling the usable space between heaven and earth, and this aching void in your heart as heavy as a spell of death around you. It drowns out the collected cries of other babies being born amid the screams of the blood-soaked dying and unattended mothers being stacked in the hallway by nurses and doctors turned pallbearers. Or is that the sound of every guardian angel in the world fluttering their wings at once, amid the smell of spilled antiseptic, overpowering air conditioning filters, no match for the rank loam of human fodder under the market's rubble? New date palms won't sprout there, though, through cracks in the stones after the next heavy rain. Along with the carnage of this Sabbath afternoon, a hooded specter lurks beside your reflection. As you stare amazed at this latest miracle being performed by nature, swaddled and peaceful now in an incubator for a manger, holding God's plan for the clay, some future society may build a temple with. Just another failed attempt by evolution at survival, lay sleeping through it all. And you wonder why death can't wait for the soul to stretch a body into a full-grown life. Is he overworked in this claymation world? Do the small ones not matter to God anymore? Or do they simply stack better? Everything alive has a spirit, you know. So where in all of this willful ignorance is our honor? Our spirit to protect the sanctity of life? In all of this unbridled inhumanity we sponsor, where is our humility, our empathy? Have we become the fifth horseman? Joined forces with conquest, war, famine, and death? For they ride with us into the boardrooms where we proudly fly the banner for Armageddon, rattle the sabers that brought us to the decks of our, that we bring to the decks of our oil tankers and battleships, shake them in the faces of war's refugees, hold them at their backs as they flee conquest and famine, and ride them down at the borders, and send the descendants of those who were allowed in to immigrate down into our coal mines, or to stoke the hot breath their horses snort onto the ice caps. Lounge on towels as they ride all the ocean's coral into the ground with their mounts acidic urine, and along the beaches with them, disguised as contractors building condos for those who are dying wealthy at this world's expense. Yes, we ride with our posses everywhere, noose in hand, trampling the forests, submerging all of the island nations and all the coastlines of the world. For these are the things that will be: deforestation, starvation, suffocation, extinction. The real fruits of our labors as we stampede towards that judgment day, along with their four thundering steeds. But before we go, we must learn how to say goodbye. Goodbye to a world with open windows. Goodbye to love, to joy, and to laughter, for they all require deep breaths. Goodbye to a world without any place where people can still play, work, and dream, for all these endeavors require people in a livable world who haven't all ridden away with the fourth horseman. Let me introduce you to death. Death's burning desire is to create only more dust where once there was life in abundance. to create more pipelines to feed the fires, to melt all of the ice and rid us of dry land? Where will we find the moral high ground when all terra above sea level is lost? Is it inside 10,000 new oil wells? Inside 100,000 more miles of pipeline? Inside 100 million more cubic feet of carbon emissions? Inside our children's graves? Buried along with our conscience, our misguided vision of freedom, freedom to hate and kill indiscriminately, freedom to poison minds with misinformation for the sake of profit, freedom to deny responsibility, freedom to take life from a world that gave life its chance. But before we leave this soaring stone all alone, we should weep for every extinction we've caused, for every spirit lost. We should then learn how to stay.
Who's up, Stan?
He's gonna take it.
In memory of Larry's Giant Subs on University Avenue, also known as the Midtown Bathroom. It was game day at Larry's, and throughout the sub shop, business was bustling, the orders didn't stop. When all of a sudden, there appeared at the door a sinister figure that restaurants abhor. The Grub Bub, the cruelest food critic in Hogtown, whose reviews cut like a cleaver slicing down. Restaurants rose and fell on his words and mood. He yelled with a smirk, "I'm here to get some food, and maybe I'll devour your reputation for dessert." He stomped loudly to the register, his loins well girt. But Larry's patrons, to their credit indeed, kept enjoying their subs and paid him no heed. The cashier beamed. "Welcome to Larry's," she said. Smirking at the register, Grub Bub turned his head. "You think your sub shop can survive my feast? I eat places like this for breakfast, or the reputations at least." "Well, sir," the cashier smiled, "we serve breakfast all day here." But Grub Bub ignored the welcome, looking at the menu with a sneer. Hot subs, cold subs, Italian subs, so many, and none the same. "I'll have the Destroyer sub, because I'm gonna destroy your good name." "We'll have it right out to you, sir," the cashier said with a grin. In Larry's kitchen, the team was hustling as the orders poured in. Rolls in the toaster, condiments and veggies on the line, a lively scene. Everybody in motion, passing sandwiches like a well-oiled machine. Mustard here, lettuce there, extra protein here, and don't forget the pickle spear. The team chief's arms aglow with each sub, working with his crew. Proud to serve in the sub shop he owned and knew. "One destroyer coming up," the line lead shouted to her team. With all hands on deck, work was going well, or so it did seem. But suddenly the sewer main gave a lurch with a sickening sound, as the floor drain by the dishwashing sinks flowed up and around. The line lead took quick action and barricaded the doorway, then trudged into the back to save the day. Grabbing a cardboard box to stay afloat, she pressed on through the impromptu moat. Finding the floor drain and donning her scuba gear, the line lead dove in without fear. Spelunking for a while, she found the issue, wastewater influx, surging inward from their neighbors' overwhelmed sewer ducts. With courage and with great effort against the incoming deluge, she closed the valve, no small feat, and then sought refuge. Swimming back into the dishwashing room, out of the murk and the deep gloom. And after a shower and an antibiotic or two, the line lead was back in action to help her crew. And together, the team reached their accomplishment. Toasted sub roll, filled with toppings, lathered with each condiment, and stuffed with all the Italian cold cuts and slices of provolone. The delicious work of art was ready to be shown. "One destroyer," the server said, handing it to Grub Bub, who glared at him, but then chowed down on his sub. And as he ate, each bite full of melted cheese, rich sauce, fresh veggies, wholesome bread, all with love from the boss. His eyes grew wide with satisfaction and wonder, as his malevolent plans were rent asunder. And as he finished off the last bread nub, licking his fingers, a change came over, grew up above. His insides felt better, and it wasn't just the antacid, for now his mood was actually quite generous and placid. With a hearty laugh and a belch, he rose from his seat, placing a large tip in the jar where the cashier did greet. And with a friendly wave of the hand, he said farewell. I'll be back, I enjoy this place. The food is better than swell. But the team didn't stop, but back to action, and work to flourish. They had subs to craft, people to feed, and souls to nourish.
Hello again, I'm Jenna again, and reminding you about the Poet Jam at the Civic Media Center. And also reminding you that the next event for Bard and Broadside is the Word Slay Youth Poetry Monologue Competition. That will be at the main branch of the library this coming Saturday at 1 o'clock. And the kids need support. It's a little depressing for kids to be out there really scared, reciting their poetry to the first time in public, and only their mom is there. So if any of y'all can make it, that would be really great to support young voices. All right, moving on. You know how power works. You know how power works. Own the resources, the land, be the man, own the institutions, make the rules, own the power to enforce them, or not to. The wins and hows and fors and against whom's. Poison the atmosphere so they go there and you get here. Create the crisis, then say only you have the might to save them from their plight, or send them out to fight while you profit and sit tight. Name, shame, blame, criminalize the lives of those whose backs you must stay standing on to thrive. Own the means they need just to survive, to make a life, medication, education, transportation, employment, enjoyment, time. Own time. Keep them busy, scrambling just to stay alive, jumping through hoops, facing an ever-changing muddled soup of rules, expectations, consequences, recriminations. Keep them weak, distracted. Keep them meek. And if someone comes around and says, beware, the meek shall rise and inherit, crucify. And if that doesn't work, well, it's time to institutionalize. You know how power works, my friend. Own what's truth, what's good, what's sin. And be sure to focus on the other and them. With sleight of hand, don't look behind the curtain. Emphasize some scapegoats, clamoring, scrabbling, bleeding, attempts to rise, and call it trespass. Without mentioning that it's you that built the pins they must break out of to begin with. You know all power's moves. Create the obstacle course and sit back and laugh as you watch them stumble through. Create ideals that only your kind can live up to, and watch them pay to play, contort, distort, fall short of being more like you, be it titles, prizes, size or hues, possessions or pursuits, skin, shape or age, even language. Just be sure to own the means and build the glass ceilings to block the ways. Tribe up and proclaim, we are the dream, the destination where all should aim, the community all should emulate. Then build a gate. You know how power manipulates. Divide and conquer. Keep the infighting and rivalries extreme, so they always glare at each other instead of noticing the puppet strings. own the matrices, the good old boys clubs, the fraternities that power own the hiring, firing, promotion, demotion, networking, that underpins and structure architects, the systems that are built to control nearly everything. You know how power clings. They're gaslighting. Their perceptions are not real. They lie, exaggerate, too sensitive, too thin-skinned. That's not injustice. That's not real pain. They only have themselves to blame. Pointing fingers, claiming, look, they're all insane. And reality becomes hard to gauge or just traumatize. Because if they're triggered fight, then out of self-defense, you can use your might. And if they're triggered submit, or flight, or freeze, well then, conveniently, they're self-silencing. But mostly, you know how power owns the means that cultures use to build everyone's vision and thinking, own the page, the screen, the word, the stage, own the narratives and images that define us versus them, roll forth the roles we've been inhabiting and always reinforce them. Or glorify, glamorize, lift up their images and heritage, their spark, their art, their wit. Just be sure they're not the ones to profit from it. They'll stay in sway as long as you're the one that owns the game. And so, just like always, power sits and feasts and smirks, just as long as you don't know how power works.
Good job, girl.
Thank you. I'm Judy Etzler, and the first time I read this poem was at the CMC, the Civic Media Center. Woo! And really, everybody is welcome. Nobody makes fun of you. We just love to have other people come in and read their poetry and nourish. The CMC nourished me for years. This is called a mantra for edible wild plants. Edible wild plants populate my yard. Spring walks are cushioned with chickweed to simmer and broth. Dandelion leaves for greens and flowers make wine. Poke salad, but only young growth, parboil it first. If times get hard, we can always eat the yard. Go ahead, stalk the wild asparagus, she'll dine like a gourmet. You can taste for winter lemonade, dry some staghorn sumac. Yarrows for fevery colds and honey to sweeten the brew. Pesto, anyone? Use wild garlic, your nose will tell you why. So remember our mantra, if times get hard, we can always eat the yard. Elderberries for jelly or wine to sip while all moon viewing. Chenopodium, pigweed's Latin name, sauteed with butter and spinach. Blackberries for pie are fresh from the bush. Your tongue turns purple. And abundant wood sorrel to give your salad a tart kick. So remember our mantra, if times get hard, we can always eat the yard. Now you say it, if times get hard, we can always eat the yard.
So this poem was published in Bocoba in 2022. The title of my poem is Carlos. A lizard, trapped inside my house, crawls across a carpet desert in my sunroom, where it cannot find food or water. Outside, flies buzz against the window, and grass glistens with dew. I want to travel before I get too old to move. I've seen it among the migratory species, an old buffalo left behind when the herd moves south on the cusp of winter. I'm not thinking about my feet. It's the Nissan Frontier with a fiberglass topper and a futon mattress in the truck bed. A reincarnation of that VW minibus, decorated in paisley Zoroastrian symbols of life and eternity, with peace signs painted on its doors. It seems like a long time ago when we traveled the Beatnik Road from Coney Island to San Francisco. In that summer of love, we believed in freedom and self-determination for all of humankind. We became consciously suspicious of government actions. We rejected consumerism and capitalist values. We embraced free love and feminism. We opposed the Vietnam War and protested nuclear armament. We marched to end segregation. The lizard is entangled in carpet fuzz, a few feet from the narrow threshold space under the door that delineates the border between life and death. I read stories about immigrants suffocating in 18-wheelers. I've seen the photograph of a dead man on the riverbank. I've seen faces of children crying for their mothers. I have witnessed human lives treated like commodities in an ecosystem nourished by desperation. I give the lizard a name handed down by a conquistador who once stood awestruck upon the steps of a Mayan temple. Carlos. I understand, Carlos, you will not survive without my help. I am a benevolent coyote. There is no human trafficking cartel threatening your life, Carlos. There is no candlelit altar in the hallway of my house, decorated with statues of the skinny woman, Lady of Shadows, La Santa Muerte, Carlos. I untangle the lizard from the carpet fuzz, lift it up gently between my fingers, open the door to the outside, and drop the lizard into a gardenia bush.
Love you, Edward.
Beautiful. One of the things that's so wonderful about poetry, it gives you a chance to kind of process all the things that's happening in this world. And I just really appreciate, again, the HARN and the Art Speaks for giving us this safe space to be able to just share our truths without judgment. So thank you so much again, our beautiful poets. I just wanted to just kind of, on your table, you do have a schedule of events, but I just kind of want to highlight a couple of them that are coming up. As Jenna mentioned, on Saturday, we have our Word Slay, and it's a youth poetry and monologue competition. And the kids it's original work that they wrote, and they also get an opportunity to win a little money to hopefully go to a bookstore and buy a book or whatever they want with it. And then on Sunday, we are going to be privileged with a poetry reading by Annalisa Zocklin that's sponsored by the Writers Alliance of Gainesville. So thank you so much. That's going to be at the Mill Harper Branch Library at 2:30. And then on Tuesday, the Board of County Commissioners will declare National Poetry Month. So April 14th is National Poetry Month, and we all share that beautiful proclamation.
One thing, at the proclamation, If you would like, it's at the regular Board of County Commissioners meeting. If you would like to come up with me to accept the proclamation on behalf of the poetry community, you're welcome to come. We can fill the place up with poets and be cool.
And just remember, you each get 3 minutes, so they can't stop you. So you can do some poetry at the mic, poetry in the chamber. Awesome. And then I also, one of the 2 things that we're doing a little different this year, at Free Fridays, if you're familiar, it's every Friday in Gainesville at the Broadside Plaza. We have a band. So on the 17th, Free Fridays will include poetry. So it's going to be poetry backed by a band. The music genre is R&B, funk, house, and a whole bunch of poets. And then Saturday night at Club Casinos is the Swampberry Jam Poetry Slam, featuring some of the best slam poets in the U.S. I know last year there were probably 20 slam poets, and they come all the way from Texas, Ohio, and it's very, very intense. And again, they're competing for money. It's always a cool thing to kind of watch. And then we're going to have a few panels. Many of the speakers that you've seen today, Eddie, David will be participating in some thought-provoking panels. We hold these truths. Our new partner this year is the Link Bookstore. And then we're also doing some, yes, for the links. And poetry at the planetarium. So I don't know if any of you've been to the planetarium at Santa Fe College, but you're going to have a 20-minute space exploration with poetry. So it's a great season this year. And then we're going to wrap it up with Dr. Sydney Wade, who's going to come back for poetry reading and book talk. So please grab a free community poetry writing workshop. A free community poetry writing workshop, and we found this to be just bring your book, bring your pencil or your laptop, and just get some free nuggets. So a lot of times these types of workshops cost a lot. And again, I want to thank our sponsors, the Florida Humanities Council for sponsoring Dr. Wade, Visit Gainesville, Alachua County, the City of Gainesville, and all our other wonderful partners, Campus USA, Waste Pro, and you for coming. So that's it for my announcements for this evening. Next, you're going to hear from Mariah, Brianna, and then Annalisa Zocklin. Thank you.
Is that you, Laura? Or are you not reading? Okay, so she was one of the Words on Canvas readers.
Okay.
So who's next?
So after Mariah, Brianna? Brianna!
Thank you. Hi, my name is Brianna Nicole. I am a poet based out of the Ocala/Gainesville area. I do a lot in both, so some of you may know me from Ocala, some of you may know me from Gainesville. My poems are usually pretty heavy in comparison to me, who's pretty light. I'm going to go ahead and give a context warning for this piece. It is pretty heavy. It does talk about mental health, it talks about suicidal ideation, and sexual assault. So I'm going to give you guys a moment. If that is triggering for you, please step out. I want everyone to be safe.
Yeah, thank you.
Also, a shameless self-plug. You guys can follow me on Instagram and TikTok at Brianna Nicole Poetry. I'm also going to be headlining a arts and poetry festival that's happening on April 25th at 6 o'clock in Ocala. So if you guys want to see more of me, like, pop up, you know? So this piece here is titled, Where Are You? He stays, not offended by her distance, not surprised by her struggle. He knows. Her bitterness is not rebellion, rather exhaustion. When she prays, she doesn't feel him, at least not the way others do. She feels broken, lost, uncertain, not in him, but herself. She fears truly submitting, truly letting go. He seems to punish her. Lost friends, lost job, jobs, loss of herself. How can a God of love punish her like this? What did she do to deserve these burdens? Why did she deserve the sickness, to be beaten again and again, to be lied to over and over, to be abused by those closest to her, to be broken, her innocence shattered? How can God love her, yet allow men to touch her, to harm her, to molest her, to rape her, to ruin her mind, force her to her knees, not for prayer, but humiliation? Crush her spirit, ruin her life. Is heaven really worth this pain now? Continuous pain, longing pain. She knows he's real. She's felt him, prayed to him, called out to him, cried out to him. But it doesn't stop the ache. She cries out, but only silence responds. She hates herself. But she was made in his image, so does that mean she really hates God? Her faith no longer feels strong, rather it feels desperate, like she's begging. She calls out to her Father while her soul feels orphaned. She mourns. So many times she has begged him to take her life, to take her last breath, because if she doesn't, then she risks eternal damnation. She's desperate, she's afraid, she's broken, and you, God, seem to watch her suffer in her mind, in her spirit, in her body. If I've done something wrong, please tell me I am your daughter. If my heart is made of stone, shatter it. If my soul is bound, break the chains. Please restore my sight. I'm not walking away. Do you hear me, God? I am not leaving. I don't need miracles. I don't need magic. I need you, and I am here. I am desperate for you, God. Please do not remain silent. Please do not reject me. Please don't turn your back to me. I need to feel you, feel your closeness, feel your love. Do you still love me? I am a sinner. I will sin again. Can you still love me? Even in my ruin, I just need you. Can you please just tell me you need me too? I am here. I am calling out. I am desperate for you, God. Please don't turn your back to me. Please. Just pick up the other line and tell me I'm worth it.
Hey everybody. Okay, so about this gig on Sunday that I'm doing, it's not so much a reading as a craft talk. I'm going to read a few poems and then talk about poetry process. So should be fun, and I'll have a little activity at the end. It'll be good. I hope you can enjoy it. 2:30 at the Millhopper Library. Okay, so I'll read a poem for you now. When I was a kid, I always wished I had a skateboard. My brother got the skateboard. I got the dolls. It was the 60s. All right. To skate the clouds. Foreclosure, drought, neglect, no matter what the cause, a pool abandoned can be found, remade, debris removed and water drained. For decades now, the young have cut or climbed the fences, scaled the wealthy walls to skate those curves, the deep ends half-pipe, vertical sweep. Imagined waves can shape an afternoon, the thrill of grind and pivot, elegant reach. For seconds, maybe 3, these skaters hold to air sometimes. Mysterious display, arms up, their torsos perpendicular, so near the rim of that blue bowl, I think some god, bemused or bored, might lift them up and over, gift them wings to skate the clouds.
So next to the mic, we will invite Candace, Webb, then Allison, and then Jen Dracos. In that order.
I have my own living document
This is my copy of a book I published. It's full of conversation starters intended to make peace, like our peacekeeper over there. If you flip through it and you find some words that really resonate with you and you want to sign next to it, you're more than welcome to. All right. Okay, and here's the poem I wrote for today. It's called Playtime. Come into my playroom, let's put on a puppet show, or fly a rocket to the moon, mix a recipe with a wooden spoon. Maybe later Dad will play a tune, look out the window, see the birds swoop, up the ladder, down the chute. We disagree, do this, not that. Mom teaches us peace, the world is not flat. Get creative before you start a spat. Our room is a theater of vignettes and spotlight. One act leads to another, concepts rise higher. Ideas intermingle, there is a calm in the chaos. We are together, not single. In our world we commingle. Like magnets, opposites attract. From the Arctic to Antarctica, bring world peace back. Play outside our room of acts.
Thanks for having me. It's my first time doing this. I want to explain that during the poem, I'm going to pause and dance around a little bit, and then I'm going to keep reading. Okay. Imagine, for as long as we can remember, all of humanity has been together on a small boat in the middle of a vast and mysterious lake. And in recent times, some of us call the boat Earth. But the boat has many names. And it's a pretty good boat, but it's not perfect. The boat is springing leaks, and it needs some repairs. The leaks seem to be getting worse lately, creating fear. Fear causes us to lose sight of the big picture, and to react out of panic instead of loving consideration. The urgency to save ourselves drives people to drastic actions. Some say loudly, there are too many people on this boat! It's gonna sink unless we get rid of some of them! We should kill them and throw them overboard for the good of the rest of us! Others respond, you are evil for having such selfish thoughts, and we should kill you and throw you overboard for your inability to see past your own selfish desires. Meanwhile, other people devise creative and ingenious patches for the leaks, but every hole is different, and none of the patches work for all of the leaks. Still, it is the slow, steady work of the patching that helps keep the boat afloat. Not every patch works as intended. Some of the patches, accidentally, open bigger holes in the boat, which causes panic. During the panic, humanity begins to rock the boat, and it threatens to capsize. In the midst of the clamor, quiet, observant souls look out beyond the edge of the boat, into the lake, and they see a peaceful, waiting bird striding through the water, not that far off from the boat. We are not in such a danger after all. We should lose sight of our common humanity, the gentle souls say to those around them. Jesus saw the waiting bird. The Buddha saw the waiting bird. Many, countless unnamed souls have seen the waiting bird. Gently, gently they ask, do you see that waiting bird? We're going to be all right. Let's take a deep breath and work together to keep our little boat afloat.
Tice, lots of marriages, okay. Many children. So I just moved down from Atlanta to Ocala. I'm still settling in and dealing with some culture shock. It's been 3 years, so. I'm also a teacher of 30 years. This is from my second book, which is coming out this summer, which is about teaching. It's called Getting Rid of the Books. My wife bundles our grown kids' sets in saran wrap, A Wrinkle in Time, Aragon, and of Green Gables. To keep each book with its family, she bunches paper in box crevices so odd-sized text won't slide, pulp pages won't fold under hardback weight. I stay in the passenger seat when we reach Goodwill, look ahead at matching suede sofas, 2 bedside lamps, by a dumpster for the unsalvageable. An employee wheels out a canvas container after we tell him the boxes packed in the trunk like a Tetris mosaic are full of books. Wait, my wife calls, and I see her in the side mirror scramble to help him as he opens each box, lifts above his head, and lets the contents tumble and strike at broken angles in a deep bin meant for dirty laundry. When my wife slides into the driver's seat, receipt in hand, she's weeping. I want to write about book banning, books I can no longer teach, books pulled by administration mid-read, but I'm a high school English teacher still, drawing a salary, coward. I will write a last will and testament for my books, not a designation of who gets what, but how to gently pack them, how to place them atop the stack next to a girl, feet against the heat vent, book propped open, spine resting on her lap.
Okay, so next up, we're going to have Ken Rose, Mary Ann Rahman, and Isa Ahmed.
I'm changing my mind and I'm reading my poem that got published in Bacopa in 2015, so thank you, that was a long time ago. Medicine. My mother was a silver ring, the moon, a drop suspended, wildness, mad, too much madness, perpetual medicine, and still such sadness. Undercurrent deep, pulled down, power of that shimmering pearl. Sky, so much sky, such bright night, unsettling light. In my childhood, wandering under the stars, so lost with more to lose, learning to lose deeper and keep waiting. She would sleep, too much sleep, then waking. Oh, wow.
Isa Ahmad? No Isa? Okay, well then that brings up Miss Cynthia Rose. Hi, I'm Cynthia Rose, and thank you to E. Stanley Richardson and his beautiful wife Carol for inviting me here. I'll plug later. This poem is titled, What's the Deal? And it's unpublished. National Guards invading the streets, ICE agents masked, inflicting their heat. What's the deal? What's
the deal. America is not the land of the free. Hundreds of thousands of jobs are cut, yet number 47 says our economy is not in a rut. What's the deal? What's the deal? He calls it the golden age, or so he sings, crowning himself America's king. Bullying countries, splitting families, hating everyone in sight, always lying to cover up the ills we all see, despite the fake news he spews from his ivory tower of might. He and the goons loading their pockets with stolen wealth, while the rest of us are left to deal with declining health. Weight loss drugs will soon be cheap, yet our people still can't afford to eat. What's the deal? What's the deal? How are we ever going to heal? Where can we go? What can we do? Our passports once green now feel blue. Well, I went to Cuba to help its people heal, and I was inspired by their loving capacity to feel. Compassion met me at every step, through music, through food, through apagones, blackouts, through community. I brought back with me a new understanding of what it means to be free. No matter the policy to silence our soul, we, the people, will remain whole, standing, marching, doing, loving, we heal. That's the deal. Thank you so much.
Yes,
There's so much I want to say, but if you want to hear more, come out on the 23rd of April, and I will be at the panel discussion at the Links Books, and I will share more.
Thank you very much, Cynthia. Next up is going to be Muriel S. Nicole, followed by Faith Buckley and Mr. Jared Foles.
Hello everyone. This poem, I forgot about the program tonight. Where's the teacher? I'm a substitute teacher. We're there for the teachers. My poem is entitled Neighbors Are We, which I think is fitting for some of the other poems that were presented. I wrote this 16 years ago and I was impressed to share it tonight. Neighbors are we. Yesterday, today, and tomorrow is always a matter of where I'm from. I like to ponder the thought of who I am. Sometimes I think that mine is better, but I must admit that yours may be good too. Neighbors are we out here, you and me. For some reason, I was born across the sea, and you, my friend, was born here or maybe there. The day will come when we will all become one. Our Lord and Savior, He'll return to take us home. We'll continue to be the best of neighbors. The old rugged cross had it all prepared. Look around and wave your flags in the air. What a perfect blend of color when we all fit well together. I like myself very much, and I like to say the same to you. Yes, great neighbors will be when the earth is made new.
Hi, I'm Faith. Oh, this is nerve-wracking. Okay. Okay. My
wings are spread far, ready to conquer the sky. Alone, so dark, my thoughts fly by. Everything's a bird's eye view, for I am the bird and you are my muse. I look constantly down on you, out of jealousy, not superiority, out of codependency, not arrogancy. I wish to walk the world so peacefully, to live a life on the ground, but alas, I spread my wings miserably. And I continue to fly. I now again look down below, vision through that bird's eye view, jealousy, arrogancy. God, when can I be you, my muse? I am calm once again, as if I've landed from my bird journey, the experience of land, unexpected navigation, foreseeable strides, flying backwards to make amends, no longer wanting to stare backwards at what could have been, downward at the ambitionless. Tall mountains I wish to bear, soaring through the unknown, adrenaline and serenity both I hold with great care. Thank
Good evening, everyone. Just want to give a shout out to the Poet Jam. I actually read for the first time there last year.
Yeah!
Poet Jam! The salt of the asphalt. Unconditional love, don't judge or pass fault. The burden is mine, I pray for my enemies. They either killing me or some kin to me. Divine energy, God's will is the remedy to heal divisiveness, critical conditions, and crisis, sis. The shadows of darkness, I found light in this. Seek first the kingdom and all her righteousness. All things is additional, literal and physical. All I know is all the troubles I've seen. It's a miracle I'm not miserable. The unwinding is spiritual detachment, faith in action, a daily reprieve. Lead me in the way of the everlasting. Let go and just breathe. The truth is free, the lie will cost an excess, then eat you alive like a flesh-eating disease. Death is paid in full and always collects. The next step, all you need is a willingness to believe we're empowered beyond our tears, and the good Lord hears every one of our pleas. Please, take heed. Anansi, I hear you, but I ain't listening no more. Let wisdom ring like a freedom bell. Let courage crash like a cymbal. The present Yada knocking at my door. Rafiki before enlightenment. I was raised wealthy in spirits, never off entitlements. On this path I've explored, I was taught to follow the drinking gorge. I felt my skin crawl like tides skimming the shore, fingernails dug and drunk across the chalkboard. And if I got more than a piss pot in the window to pour, I've fallen in love with the struggle and the purpose I can't ignore. This is something to live for. Keep the judgment, Julie. I've sentenced myself from this point forward. I can no longer afford getting beat with an extension cord, watching you get hauled off on the tailgate of that square body Ford like that was normal for a jet to absorb. Consciousness in the concrete. The vastness above didn't budge. Pain became a catapult and obsolete. Our blood became the salt of the asphalt. Consciousness in the concrete. Unconditional love, don't judge or pass fault. The burden is mine, I pray for my enemies. They either killing me or some kin to me. Divine energy, what's the remedy? A healthy dose of service, pursuit of purpose and integrity.
Amazing. Before we move to our last four, I do wanted to bring to your attention, you may have seen these little colorful tags. We are welcoming the College of Medicine, and their program is Wellness Through the Arts. And I believe what you're doing tonight is showing how the arts are used to heal, as therapy, however you use it. So thank you guys so much, and we'll make sure you grab a little tag before you leave. Also, tonight, the HARN Museum just opened up a new exhibition, and Eric can tell you a little bit more about that. But please, at the end, please go see some of the great art that we have here at the museum. All right, so that's my last announcement for tonight. Again, check out some of the events. Thank you again to all of our amazing sponsors. So with that, I'm going to call up Abdul Jalil Amira, Nisa Rose, and Jamie. Thank you.
Thank you, Carol.
Is he still here?
I'm not sure if he's still here. Abdul?
You didn't go, Shanti? Oh, we missed you? Oh my gosh, I'm sorry. Before Abdul, let's please get Shanti Vani. Let's get her.
I don't think Abdul's here.
He's not.
He may have left.
That's pumpkin. My name's Shanti Vani, and I am a death doula. I love working with preparing for death, going through death, with people, holding their hands and helping them. So I was going through a website today, and I found a poem from a friend who is also a death doula. And her website is Whispers from the Beyond. And that's where I found this poem and a link to this author who is Aurora Levins Morales. And I can leave this sheet up there if anybody wants to take a picture of it. So the website is by Sophia Anjom, and she works with ancestral connections and with the ancestors. So this poem is titled Summons by Aurora Levins Morales, and she has a website in that name. Last night, I dreamed 10,000 grandmothers from the 10,000 corners of the earth walked out into the gap, one breath deep between the bullet and the flesh, between the bomb and the family. They told me we cannot wait for governments. There are no peacekeepers boarding planes. There are no leaders who dare to say every life is precious, so it will have to be us. They said we will cup our hands around each heart. We will sing the earth's song, a song of water, a song so beautiful that vengeance will turn to weeping. The mourners will embrace, and grief replace every impulse towards harm. 10,000 is not enough, they said. So we have sent this dream like a flock of doves into the sleep of the world. Wake up, put on your shoes. You who are reading this, I'm bringing bandages and a bag of scented guavas from my trees. I think I remember the tune. Meet me at the corner. Let's go.
I always get nervous. So I'm going to share a poem called Black Lives Matter is the Minimum. It's a really old poem, and it's a little bit heavy, but I felt inspired to share it. Black lives matter so much that 5 black men hanging from trees across America is not even national news. But everybody and their mama is saying Black Lives Matter. Black Lives Matter is trending so hard that random white people are suddenly interested in learning about your history as told by their scholars. The lion tells the tale of the hunt differently than a hunter with his rifle and his Bible. Don't get it twisted. Black Lives Matter so much that these mofos really want me to believe that the NFL wasn't strategic in their omission of an apology to Kaepernick. Starbucks really want me to believe that banning Black Lives Matter t-shirts and then changing their mind about the ban wasn't part of some master plan. Black Lives Matter, yeah, okay. Talk to me when the miseducation, diseducation, and anti-education have been demolished. Talk to me when you realize that we have been duped. Our heroes were chosen by the enemy. The enemy is not all white people. The enemy is what some call white supremacy, but is actually an inferiority complex complemented by fragility. And if you're a white person, or a black person, or a yellow person, or a blue person, if you bend your knee to the notion of white supremacy, or allow white fragility to dictate your thinking, then me and you got issues. Me and you are enemies. The enemy of my enemy is my friend, But when I don't know who my enemy is, how can I know who is a true friend? And in what world was I born into when the Pharisees and the Sadducees tell the narratives without an alternate story? There's no Jesus, just hashtag WWJD. We eat the discarded flesh of the fruits of our enemies. We pay allegiance to their beauty standards. Their scholars trump our gods. Their beliefs overshadow our sensibilities. Meanwhile, Imhotep. Meanwhile, Fannie Lou Hamer. Meanwhile, Mamie Fitz Clark. Meanwhile, Prince. More reading, more learning, more overstanding, more releasing inhibitions, more listening, more observing with a keen eye, more questioning, more me, more you, no more dead bodies, no more curses, no more lynchings. Stop killing us need to be extended to stop poisoning our minds, or better yet, let self-reliance be our guide. Kwanzaa all year long, not 7 days. 7 days of keeping my brothers? 7 days of respecting ancestors? No, this is a way of life. You are an African on American soil. You're black. You are the beginning and the end of the universe. There can be no justice, no peace, as long as you sleep. So rise up. Rise up and show your worth. Give us a glimpse of glory, and I'll show you why matter is the minimum.
Nisa, and then after Nisa, we're going to open it up. If there's any other poets that would like to read, please, sign up or just raise your hand. And if you're a poet and you've already read and you'd like to have something else, please just let us know. So, I know Nisa, then Jamie, and then open mic. You're welcome, Jenna. Yes, he's looking for a piece. So, Nisa.
So, I've never read this out loud. So, I don't know why, but something inspired me. I believe someone said, like, the ancestral calling. So, I'm a postpartum doula, but also, like, I speak to the trees. So, I'm going to do a quick little chant before I begin this piece, if that's cool with you guys. Okay. And I got this song from the trees one day. Anyways. I will remember, though you're long gone, I will remember your touch and your song. I will remember, I will remember, I will remember, though you're long gone. I used to think belonging was something you could say. Like a word could root itself just because you spoke it. Like naming a thing meant it knew you. But I sat in a room a few weeks ago, full of mouths and full of meanings, and the question came, what does patriotism look like in a body like yours? And the answers moved, like history, like pride, like resistance, like distance, but when it reached me, something in my spirit refused the language. Because you cannot ask me how I stand on land without asking what remembers me when I touch it. Because I'm a black woman, I'm an indigenous woman, and my body does not forget what the ground has been through. We share a memory that does not live in books, but in bone, in breath, in the way both of us were taken and still asked to give. So when you ask me about belonging, I do not think about flags, I think about footprints. Because flags are a declaration, but footprints are confession. They tell the truth about weight, about intention, about whether you arrived in prayer or in appetite. And somewhere in my blood, I remember the forest not as sanctuary, but as direction. Run, nigga, 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 run. And my body learned how to move before it ever learned how to rest. But I'm not running running anymore. I returned not with fear, but with a different frequency. So the trees could hear me without translating me into survival. Because I have stood inside the woods and felt recognition like the soil excelled, like it had been holding my name for generations, like the trees leaned not to witness escape, but to listen for something ancient arriving again. And I wondered what it would look like for us to return. Not as bodies escaping, but as spirits remembering. To place our hands in the earth without asking it to prove itself safe. To walk without rehearsing danger. To let our laughter move through the woods, not as relief, but as language. Because this ground is not something you claim, it is something that reads you. You cannot say you belong if your presence does not introduce itself. If your hands only know extraction. If your spirit never kneels long enough to hear what has been waiting to speak back. Because the earth does not care about your words. If the roots never risk going deeper than your voice. So I am not here to reclaim anything, I am here to remember. How to stand without defense, how to listen without needing to be answered, how to let the land name me without interrupting it, because maybe the forest was never just a place we passed through and ran, ran. Maybe the forest isn't just for white peace, maybe it has been calling not just for return, but for recognition. And maybe remembrance is not something we carry, maybe it is something that carries us back into right relationship until the ground can feel the difference between our own footprints and our arrival. And may we remember together each step in nature at a time. Ashe.
This is a sad poem. It is, pretty much just that. It's called For Charlie. As we sat upon your floor, slowly crying out the day, I could think only of everything we'd ever left unsaid. Not the chores we didn't do, or the lists left unfulfilled, but those precious words and moments that we never had the brave to experience and to share amongst each other. To bring it all out into the unbearable light and to show the worst of ourselves. The wicked thoughts, the broken homes, the worn out pride and all the failures lying in mountains, barely concealed behind our backs. All of the regret and the sins and the dirt just beneath our nails and cowering under the floorboards where we sat. The rotting fetuses of the children we used to be, stuck so unspeaking in the hollows of our chests. And all the love and hate and beauty and ugly that makes us each who we are, incomplete and imperfect as the day. And to be completed, or at least to try, and to be put back together piece by sorry piece, even if we knew there would always be more to say, and nowhere near enough breath to say it. And so as I held you there, with your tears running down the backs of my arms, I knew that I was safe and warm and in the right place. And I knew that it would all be worth it. All the pain and misery and triumph, all the tired and the empty and the full, if I could only know you felt the same. Thank you. We're also coming to Poetry Jam at the CMC because we do this like literally every Thursday. It's great. And you get a little more time, so you can read like 3 poems. You don't have to pick just one. It's just so nerve-wracking. Thank you.
Thank you everyone for being here and sharing your voices with us. Please try to check out some other events. We're going to have Nala. He's also with Civic Media Center. Thank you, Civic CMC, for your constant support over the years. We appreciate it. Jenna was actually one of our co-organizers a couple years ago, so thank you, Jenna, for always stepping in for us and supporting Stan. I really appreciate that. Thank you, guys. All right, Nala.
It's my
mic is making me feel vertically challenged. Alright. Good evening, everybody. Alright. Man, I think 2019, I did this here. The room was oriented just a little bit different. Hopefully I can get the same energy. This poem, I was trying to figure out what to do, but in light of the energy that's been flowing, I think this is appropriate. Bloodstained asphalts. Oh wait, no, blood-soaked asphalt. I'm terrible at naming poems. Alright, good, I'm better at writing. Alright, here we go. Blood-soaked asphalts, filled with blood-soaked asphalts, filled with legacies of those who never made it to court. Justice is not a casual result, and Lady Justice caters to the rich. So, bloodstain remains to reflect the pain on a mother's brain. Stain on concrete beneath our feet, reminders we're not special or unique. Bloodstain calls on justice, but it remains a bystander to peace. Bloodstains are what remains to reflect the pain of a young legacy that never got a chance to be. Stains on concrete are what we are. So in God we trust, left reflection on different places, on faces of those who gave birth to us. The proof, you don't have to walk far to see the truth. The pain is etched on a mother's face, written with wrinkles, forcing deep wounds while cynical trials, labeling the mockery as a young child gets buried. Bloodstain continues to be what is left to reflect the poor black soul, worth measured in gold, a land that was stole just to be told I'm the savage that came to civilize my soul. Jesus to the Indians and Christianity to the Africans. Fast forward. Is this the post-Martin dream? Even he would say keep it. At the nightmare, we all scream. Thank you. Every Thursday, Poetry Jam, Civic Media Center. Sometimes I'm the host, sometimes I'm just an audience member. But please join us 8 p.m. every Thursday. Poet Jam!
Aaliyah would like to share. So let's give it up for Aaliyah. Come on, everybody.
Okay, talk about being short. Okay. Woof, I'm still feeling that last one in me, so I've got to shake it out of the way. Oh my goodness, it's been been so many years since I've done spoken word. So yeah, this is I'm bringing it back inside my existence.
Yes.
So this one doesn't have a name. The prompt was to write a love poem to yourself. When I was a kid, I would draw a tree as a straight line then put some swirls on top. Today, I saw the tree. I saw the curves which make up the trunk. I saw the ways the branches would shoot forwards, curving toward the sun. I saw the way the roots curved into the earth. I saw curves in every facet of the tree. When I was a kid, I wanted nothing more than to get away from my curves. I wanted angles and lines, sharpness, not softness. When I was a kid, I would draw the mountain with sharp angles and points. I've seen a mountain. It's made up of curves. Layers and layers of curves that build into the illusion of sharpness. The mountain edges curving to wrap around and hold the life that is there. The pathways curving and turning into the summit. When I was a kid, I wanted nothing more than to get away from my curves. Trying to fit my body into the angular boxes of restriction, forcing its way into the structures of rules. Without the rules, wouldn't chaos ensue? Wouldn't beauty be lost? When I was a kid, I couldn't see the curves. How my life continued to churn and twist, how the angles cut into the natural source of growth. The structure stifling my breath. The structure couldn't stop me from growing, for nature has a way. You see, I was never meant for angles, for like a tree and like a mountain, I'm full of curves. Dips and turns, expansions and contractions, my body is soft. It is built in layers of curves that have strengthened over time. Built to house a soul ready to take on the storms, the quakes, the shifts, the earth. My curves hold the contours of my power. My curves match the nature in which I rest. My curves match the sacredness I see. When I was a kid, I didn't see how beauty really works. Today, I remember and witness the curves that become truth.
What time is it? We have like 15 minutes.
Yeah, 15 minutes.
Yeah, 15 minutes. Anybody that didn't get the chance to do a poem, wants to do a poem?
Yay! Great!
You guys were kidding, that's really brave.
Great!
This is called Tarnished. The buckets of love I've shouldered, they've nearly broken my back as I bathed you again and again. How long was it going to take for me to realize I cannot get you clean? The silver I thought I saw was plated. The sickly green is what remains. The blood runs from my fingers as I scrub, but I cannot absolve us of our sins. The damage is done, the fire long lit, now burning down to ashes. I couldn't keep maintaining it.
Okay, so I never read poetry because I really like theater. And I like a beginning, a middle, an end, and a story, and a climax. But I found this book written by Alachua County Poet Laureate, E. Richardson. So I said, you know what, we got a few more minutes, I'll read one of his poems. So the poem is called, and I hope it's a clean one, but it's called Vibration.
Check it out before.
In the beginning was the drum, fashioned from the highest branch, from the first tree, moments before, moments after, man was fashioned from the earth and the clay. The drum, given to man as a gift, from God to man, from creator to created, from artist to artist. The drum, given to man before the woman was fashioned from his rib. In the beginning was the drum, the very first exquisite gift. From East Stanley Richardson.
Oh, so we're going to read. Can we press it? 2017. It's called Hip Hop is Dead, Long Live Hip Hop, the birth, death, and resurrection of hip hop activism. It's a long title, but hey. And the book is about movements and how important music is to African American and Black expression, especially as it pertains to social justice struggle and freedom struggle and everything that being Black and indigenous to this country entails. The struggle. Every movement has a soundtrack. I had an opportunity to spend some time with some of the freedom fighters and some of the architects of the civil rights movement who are still with us. And they told me one of the things, and I put it all in this book, they told me, and the person I had an opportunity to spend some time with, I took a trip with Dr. Paul Ortiz and the Samuel Proctor Oral History Program back in maybe during the same time I was writing this book. I know it was because my conversation with Dr. William Zahara Simmons is in this book. And I had the opportunity to ride from all the way from Gainesville, all the way throughout the Mississippi Delta, sitting beside her, listening to her tell me the story of her being a young woman at Spelman and being involved with the civil rights movement. And she told me something about how important art was to the movement and how important music and song was to the movement. And she said to me these words, they could beat us, they could throw us in jail, but they could not stop us from singing those songs. It was the songs that gave us power. It was the songs that gave us the will to keep on keeping on. So, what has happened to Black creative expression in a colonial environment? What we create to testify for ourselves and how it gets distorted by the colonial powers, the corporations, and getting back to us as something altered and other that now testifies against us. So I've tried to put it all in this book. But the poem I'm going to read is called Prologue Poem, and it may give you an idea about the book. Prologue Poem. This is a book of poetry. This is a book of poetry. This is a book of poetry and poetic prose born from the womb of those ancestors' song. Africa's rhythm. Africa's rhythm. Africa's rhythm, royal and free. This is a book of poetry. Kingdom chant. Morning song. Midnight calling. Kingdom chant. Long, long, long before Negro slave narrative, cotton field song, gospel song, freedom song, blues, rhythm and blues, my baby ain't got no shoes, song, jazz song, soul and rock and roll song, reggae song, funk and more funk, don't stop, don't stop, don't stop, don't stop, hip hop song. Hip hop, hip hop, hip hop, they can't stop this thing. We sing song, divine offspring song. Pushed from fertile womb between black thighs of expression and revolution song. Their only solution is to distort it into perversion song. Thank you. Hip-hop is dead, long live hip-hop, the birth, death, and resurrection of hip-hop activism. One of the things that people get tired of me talking about it, but I'm going to keep talking about it until I die. One of the things that's really important to me is music. And the Lodgeville County and the city of Gainesville have declared gun violence as a, what is it? A public health crisis. So, my idea is until you address, you can't have our children singing death songs and not understand that it's going to manifest in some way. You can't sing about death. You can't sing about killing and destruction and self-harm and not have it manifest in some way. It will. Life and death is in the power of the tongue. When I started writing this book, I was walking home one day and I was passing by a young kid, about 12 years old, and I was walking by and he was singing a song. And so what I heard was, I got murder on my mind, I got murder on my mind, I got murder on my mind, I got murder. And this kid was about 12, 13 years old. And I stopped, I said, what do you say? And he said, I'm singing a song. And that was the refrain of the song. I got murder on my mind. And I said all that, and they kept the bass beat and the rhythm, and they changed the lyrics to our songs, and they give it back to our children, and they sing these songs, and it manifests in certain ways, and it manifests by drive-by shootings and other toxic repercussions from singing their songs. I mean, these are vibrations that the mother is singing while they're carrying the child in the womb, and the child is born, and the child continues to sing this song up until adolescence. And after a while, that behavior, that frequency, that rhythm, that disjointed, unnatural thing is embedded into that child's psyche, and it manifests. And drive-by shooting or whatever they're singing about. So I mean, that's my little thing. That's my thing. So I'm gonna keep preaching that until, I've even talked to folks about, we have institutions here at the University of Florida who talk about how amazing art is to healing, how amazing music is to healing. And I'm like, okay, music can heal, then by just, you have to understand that music can be destructive also. If it can heal, then also it can be destructive. So you can't talk about one aspect of music and not talk about the other aspect. But I'm gonna keep knocking on their door also, and maybe my hope is one day I'll run into a PhD student, or ethnomusicologist or something like that, and they want to study this thing, and I'll say, I wrote this book, and I got this idea, and maybe you can, have it part of your study or something like that. Anyway, thank you all so much for coming out to this evening. Really cool. Get one of these flyers. There are a bunch of really cool events going on. One of the things that we're going to talk about, I have Dr. Stephen Null, who's a professor of history here, Patrick Grigsby, who's also a lecturer here at the School of Art and Art History. Dr. Null is a professor of history here at the University of Florida. We have some amazing community members, poets, Dr. Deidre Houchin, Arturo Acevedo. They're all going to be part of a panel at the Links Bookstore on April 19th. We hold these truths. So we'll be having a discussion about how poetry helped shape the American narrative over the last 250 years. So we wanted to celebrate America's founding with this. I know it's difficult, but if you have anything I ask you to just put in a poem. I know it's difficult. It's traumatic. I don't watch the news. I try not to. But if you're going through something, pick up your pen or pencil and put it in a poem, and maybe you can find some solace in that. I want to thank Eric and the HARN for joining us. I want to thank Miss Carol Velasquez Richardson. She is amazing. I know how amazing she is. You just get a little bit of it. I get a lot of it. She is really, truly a wonderful woman, wonderful human being. I thank God for her. So get one of these flyers. Check out the Poetry Festival. Go to ARTSPEAKSgnv.org. Also, there's a donation box back there if you want to. If you don't have cash, you can scan the PayPal thing and the QR code. It's all tax deductible. Like everything we do is free to be able to have some events like this. So thank you so much for coming out. Hey, did everybody get in a photo? Before you go, want to come up and get a quick photo? Do we have time? Okay, come on, everybody, get a quick photo. Come on forward, get a photo.
For those who made it to the end.
Yes, yes, yes. The beginning and the ending.